few weeks ago, my dad and I went to hit a bucket of golf balls. This driving range near my house was just rebuilt and we wanted to check out their new 2-story driving range. When we went up to buy the bucket of balls, I noticed something interesting. Their new golf ball system was fully automated, made by a company called Range Servant. And when we went to pay, my dad noticed the payment thing said SelectPie. I didn't think much of it, but it was cool that we could just walk up, grab a bucket, pay, and the system would count out the individual golf balls really quick. We went through the bucket of golf balls, and of course I'm cutting out all the wicked slices and the times I topped the golf ball. But a couple days later, my nephew went there and he was like, "Uncle Jeff, do you think they use a Raspberry Pi in there?" I was like, well, I don't know. What I did know was this was the perfect opportunity to go hit another bucket of balls so I could get the B-roll for this video. But after that, I went on SelectPie's website. They build automated golf ball dispensers and software for driving ranges, and it looks like they even built a mini golf turnstile system. They had a contact form, so I contacted one of their employees. And it turns out they do use a Raspberry Pi inside their SelectPie dispenser, and they built the thing in partnership with a company called Range Servant. So of course the first thing I asked was why they chose a Raspberry Pi, and like Matthew Smith mentioned in my Industrial Pi video, they didn't choose it for the price. Instead, they liked how it had a great developer community, thorough documentation, and long-term support. A lot of low-power embedded computers don't get 5 or 10 years of support. Each Raspberry Pi model comes with a guarantee from Raspberry Pi it'll be in production for a certain number of years. And even with the current global parts shortages, someday at least, you'll be able to get your hands on a new Pi. I asked him how the Pi survives in the temperature extreme since these things are running outdoors all over the US. I mean, just here in St. Louis, Tower T can see temperatures from as low as -10 degrees Celsius in the winter all the way up to 43 degrees in the summer. And there's also rain, sleet, snow, and hail. Well, SelectPie puts the Pi inside a NEMA outdoor enclosure, which is inside the metal Range Servant enclosure. It apparently holds up extremely well, along with the commercial grade touchscreen they put on the outside. They've been using the Pi 4 Model B, the 2GB version, and they've had these things deployed since 2019, so it's definitely been holding up. I asked them what the hardest part of the whole system has been, and they said it's actually the credit card processing system, and that makes sense to me. From my time building software, payment integrations were always the most dreaded tasks. But they seem to have done a pretty good job. I mean, I haven't seen any signs of problems at Tower T in the 6 months that they've been using it. It's just too bad they don't also have a Raspberry Pi running their batting cages. Those things still use some sort of ancient token-based setup. I do like how you don't have to have an app or buy special membership cards just to hit some golf balls or hit some baseballs. So good on Tower T and SelectPie for that. The last question I had for them was how do they keep the Pis up to date, specifically for security patching? They said they have some cloud-based software running on the Pi and it auto-updates itself every time the Pi reboots. They didn't get into too much detail here, but I know from my own remote deployments, one of the lessons you learn quickly is to make sure the update mechanism is bulletproof. You don't want to have to send a technician out to 250 locations throughout the US just because you pushed out a bug in your software. Anyways, I just thought it was cool seeing a Pi like that in the wild, keeping a small business in operation right by my house. Next time you're at a driving range, see if they have a Pi too. Until next time, I'm Jeff Gerling.